Shrimal, hi. It's been a year since I've called you to the podcast last.
Been a while, huh?
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm probably less of me than we last met. I've lost half a meniscus. And it's been a tough journey just trying to understand my new or less skills I have with my legs. Getting there. But yeah, it's been a while.
For those of the audiences that have not watched our previous episode, it was all about your journey, how you started from your childhood. You're a Dubai kid, you were raised here.
Mm-hmm.
You got into fitness training, so you're a personal trainer. And you also play Frisbee to a certain level. So
Ultimate Frisbee.
Ultimate Frisbee. Very specific, yes. So when you say you lost half a meniscus, how did that happen?
So we were preparing for a tournament in April 2025. Yeah. And a week before we had our last practice game, and I was throwing a disc and I twisted my knee while throwing the disc, which is a very sad way to get hurt when throwing a disc. And I felt something in my knee and I knew I messed up. I knew something's bigger than a simple sprain or whatever. So I knew I'm done. So it took a couple of weeks, found out I have grade 3 meniscus tear, which is not a big deal compared to an ACL tear or whatever. But still, for me, that was like, okay, Took a while and then got my surgery done in May, end of May, and recovering since then. Tough. I think that taught me a lot more about myself and other people, more empathy towards other people who are going through injuries.
And before that, you did not have that?
I'm like, I'm just faking it. Come on, it's not that simple. It's not that hard.
So, how's the Frisbee going? Are you still playing or no?
So for the past 2 months, I've started playing a bit. I'm able to jog and run a bit quicker than what I could like 3 months ago. But I still can't sprint at 100% or, change direction, jump and all that stuff. So I'm basically a straight line person now.
Right.
Yeah.
To what extent or what level did you play Frisbee? Or are you playing Frisbee at the moment?
In Dubai, it is a tough one, right? Because we are playing at the highest level in Dubai, in UAE as it can be. But compared to the world, we are probably at like very lower levels than, like pro players in the US, for example. So that's that.
So when you say Dubai, you mean Dubai or UAE?
UAE, like the whole MENA region for that matter, right? There's no pro level in MENA region. No one gets paid to play Ultimate Frisbee. We all play for the fun of it, for the love of the game. So we all at the same level to that extent when you say that. Yeah.
Right. Do you play for the UAE national team?
So as such, there's not a UAE national team. There's a team called Wasta. That is technically the UAE team. I'm not good enough to play for that team. But it is a good team and it competes with other international teams in world tournaments. And they do place more than, what they were ranked. So that's a good thing.
So the team Wasta, who does it comprise of? The individuals?
Individuals of all the teams. So it's like anyone's open to come and try out for the team.
Okay.
And only the best players and also the players who can afford to go, and take leave from work and all that stuff.
So it's self-funded?
Self-funded, yeah.
And it's for the expats?
It's also open for anyone, even if you're local. I think in UAE there's only one local player that actually plays Ultimate Frisbee.
Right.
But there's been initiatives from the government to include school level kids who are like locals and stuff. So I think in the next 5-10 years, you're going to see more locals playing this sport. And that's going to be good for the sport in UAE.
Is this at school level? Do they train Ultimate Frisbee in school levels?
As of now, I think only 1 or 2 schools do it, but also like very few kids show up because there's no exposure in UAE or in the whole region when it comes to Ultimate Frisbee, right? So no one actually knows about this sport compared to as only a very few people know this sport. So awareness is something that is happening in terms of teaching it to kids, because then the more people are aware of the game, the more people will join the game because it is a fun game. It is less contact. In fact, no contact. And it's like football and rugby made a kid and you can't touch the kid. Yeah.
Okay. And yet you tore your meniscus.
Yeah, by throwing a disc. So it's my fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me this. Would you consider coaching schools if this was an opportunity?
I think I would, because not every player can be a coach. I think that's something I realized along the way, right? There are very good players who are not the greatest coaches, because coaching is a skill as compared to playing is a skill, right? It's two very different skills. And I've been coaching coaching fitness for a long time. So I think it comes somewhat naturally to me to be able to teach a game, because the game is, you've seen some very, very good coaches who've never played at the highest level in football or whatever, right? So this is the same concept when it comes to Frisbee. So I think that's something I'd be decently good at, coaching.
Let's shift to the fitness part of it. So you've been a fitness trainer for quite some time. How many years exactly?
I would say I started in 2012.
Wow.
That's like 13 years. I stopped counting, so it's 13 years.
Over a decade.
Yeah.
Okay. And in this time, can you tell me your experiences, the various kind of experiences that you want to share? So in case anybody else who would want to be a personal trainer would know.
I think even though your clients are going through a journey, you as a trainer is also going through a journey. Like, you're discovering what works and what doesn't work. And when I first started out, I only had like one style, that is like, go all in, be like, like a sergeant, like a drill sergeant, angry. If you like, it should be that simple. Why can't you just do it kind of a person? To a person who understands that the average client has a life beyond fitness. And that itself something I realized along the way, right? For anyone who wants to be a trainer, I think the first thing is to look for the coaching part of it, like getting the licenses, getting the exams done, because the exams itself are not that difficult. The exams to be a personal trainer, qualified personal trainer, is not that difficult. The barriers to entry are very limited, but it is the personal aspect, right? So it's called personal training for a reason. You need to understand your client. You need to understand the mentality of your clients. That takes a while to develop, and that can be only learned through experience.
How different is the UAE? Because there are people from various countries here, different nationalities, different cultures. How did you manage to work with the personal side of personal training?
So the good thing is, since I grew up here, I've always been exposed to that different culture aspect of it, right? So it wasn't something like a new culture shock for me. It's something ingrained in me, if you can call that. So I didn't find it very difficult to train people of other cultures or whatever. And also the good thing for me is, like, I go through word of mouth when it comes to my clients. So basically all my clients are similar people, because friends of friends of friends. So in that way I've been lucky. But then honestly, nothing is different. We're all human at the end of the day. So the needs, the needs are not very different from culture to culture. It's just understanding what the slight variations are. That's it. And Dubai is such that there's no one fixed culture. So that is that.
Plus, once you're in Dubai, you have a Dubai culture.
That's true, but what is Dubai culture?
The thing is the blend, you see. What happens is when you leave home and come here, then this becomes your home. Everyone says, I'm gonna do just one contract, 2 contract, and then they'll be like, no, I don't want to leave right now. Maybe sometime later. And then this becomes your home, and then your culture will blend with some other culture, and then it becomes your own hybrid culture, that when you go back home, you're a bit lost. You're like, you are from that place.
Yeah.
But you lose, or you upgrade, or whatever you call it. But you're not the same who you were.
That's
when
true.
you go back.
Because for me personally, I'm going a bit off track here. Like, I went to Colombo in July this year, and that was after 10 years. I haven't been to Sri Lanka in 10 years. And I didn't know anyone except for my few family members. I was an alien in my own country, and that was a bit eye-opening and sad at the same time. But yeah, so I get that. Honestly, for me, it's still the basics are the basics, right? Wherever you are from, the fact that you have to go to work, the fact that you have kids who you have to drop to school, you have to make sure they grow up to be decent human beings. That doesn't change from culture to culture. That's just universal, I would say. So finding that work-life balance and adding fitness into that is universal, I would say. It doesn't change much.
The opportunities that one can get becoming a personal trainer, in your opinion, would be?
So it depends on what you're looking for as well, right? Like for me, it has been only one-on-one, because I'm doing mostly one-on-ones for my past 13 years. I joined fitness first in 2012, right? So for me, that was something new, and I haven't done PT before. I didn't have any certifications, so I was just the guy who would clean up the plates, the weight plates, the dumbbells from the ground to back in the stack. Now I knew that I had to go through that first few months of doing that to get to where I want to get, right? So it's one of those things where I wanted to do. But there's more than just one way of being a personal trainer. You can always go to, different other variables, such as, like going for corporates, for example. I know some trainers who just do corporate. So they have a contract with the company and they would show up three, 4 times a week. They have a space given to him and he would train the employees of that place. So, and there's also group training. Quite a few avenues for a personal trainer these days, because people are more aware of fitness than what it used to be 10, 20 years ago. And that's a good thing.
So now we are in February. The new year has passed and many people have this resolution. How many of them do you think will keep this resolution going in your experience of over a decade?
Overall people or just clients?
Let's just say the majority, the average of majority.
The fact that it happens every year says a lot, right? The fact that every year people have, it's a new year, new me, says a lot about how far they've come along the previous year. And there's no statistics on that, but then I would say a majority would unfortunately give up early on after a couple of months, because they all start very hard, like very motivated. And that's not the way you do it. It's supposed to be gradual. It's supposed to be gradually integrated into your life. And that's not what most people in the new year do. They have so much of motivation and hunger that they burn out quite quick.
So how would you suggest they should do? When you say gradually?
Get a trainer. Again, so as the age we live in, there's so much of social media, there's so much of information which you can, take and learn and, and put it into your practice. So when I say gradual, I mean, for example, if you're someone who's never run in your life before, don't start running 10Ks every week, because your knees, your body just can't take that amount of, workload. If you're someone who's never lifted, don't start deadlifting massive weights. First of all, you learn technique. I think even if you're running, even if you're rowing, if you're lifting weights, the first thing you should do is learn technique if it's your first time, because that could prolong how long you can do the activity for. If you don't learn the technique first and then get into it, it's very short. You're playing with fire at the end of the day, because you never know when things could go wrong. Especially if you're going towards, above your 30s and your 40s, your body's not the same anymore. It can't just recover the next day.
Most of the people who are sedentary and who used to play sports or who used to be active, they want to get fit. And instead of working on themselves gradually, they get into sports, saying that, no, you know what, we'll do sports in order to get fit. Your thoughts on that?
So it happens to a lot in our Frisbee team, right? We have people who contact me like, I used to play football, I used to play cricket, I used to play Frisbee like 5 years ago, whenever in school or in university, but now I've moved to Dubai. I haven't done anything for the past 5 years. I want to restart it, right? It's all right, but as long as you know what your limits are. Again, as I say, everything has to be started gradually, right? So when we have new players, we don't put them into the matches on day one. Make sure we train on their warm-up, for example, on their throwing techniques, on their running techniques, because those small adjustments you make in the beginning and they implement that in the games or whenever they play the sport, that's going to make sure they will last longer in terms of physically being able to hold up the body. And
So is the Frisbee still free that you guys do in Zabil Park, is it?
Yeah, so the Frisbee has always been free for our team. It's called AFT. The only thing is you have to pay for parking, which is 5 dirhams to park and 5 dirhams to enter the park, which doesn't come to us.
Right.
Yeah, so we started hiring a coach and we would pay him weekly, and we started charging people for that, but that's optional. That's not something which you have to do if you're part of our team. It's for our own good, for us to improve and be more competitive in the domestic circuit. Yeah.
How's the team since last time we spoke?
Ups and downs, very high and very lows, right? The last time we met, probably last year, we were preparing for a tournament in Uzbekistan.
Mm-hmm.
We went to, we for the first time as a team, we flew out of Dubai. And of all the places, we chose Tashkent in Uzbekistan. They had a summer cup over there. And it was the first time they were hosting outside nations into outside clubs into their tournament. We had a good team. Half the team was from our team, and the other half was from outside players, like UAE based, but other teams. And we actually won that tournament.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were ranked, I think, 14th out of 16th. We were seeded 14th out of 16th, and then we placed first because we took some very good players from outside. And a few months later, we went to where did we go? To Baku, Azerbaijan, and we came last. So we took half a team from another team and half of our team, and we came last. So the constant was our team. So our team is, I would say, average. It's whoever we bring in or bring out that makes the difference for us.
Right.
Yeah. So when we take very good players, we can be first.
What's the average age of the members in your team?
I would say it's somewhere towards the high 20s, right? So 29, 30, that would be the average age, because we have quite a few players who are in their 35s, mid 30s, even touching late 30s. Like I'm 36 at the moment, right? So I'm mid 30s now, unfortunately. So the thing about Dubai is when you're in your 20s and you come to Dubai for the first time, you're encouraged to work hard, to just focus more on work than play, and to establish yourself. And most people would do that, establish themselves in their late 20s or 30s or whatever. It's different for everyone, but then that's the average age. So that's when they have time to explore other areas of life, and one of them is sport, right? So that's when they would join our team or whatever. So that's the reason why people are more in their late 20s and early 30s to start playing AFT.
So if I'm to understand you right, many people choose to work initially just to get themselves established and then move to sports. So they are learning Frisbee at a later age as well?
Like even me, for example, right? I'm the perfect example because I started playing Frisbee when I was 30 or 29. And I've never touched a Frisbee before that. So for me to learn that, when I'm in my 30s, I still regret that, because if I had played when I was 18 or something, and I would be very good by now.
And even then you go to participate in international tournaments and place first. Of course, the team is mixed, but then the fact that you yourself have learned the sport really late. How many in AFT played the sport at a very early age?
So AFT as such, we have very few players who played the game before joining AFT.
Right, and that was...
like names, like if I give like Anand.
No. What I mean is what year? What year did they start?
Oh,
what year did the AFT team start, the Frisbee team?
So we started in 2018. All right. So when we started, most of our players haven't played the game before. Even the players we get now, they haven't played the game before. So it's a double-edged sword, right? Because we want players to show up and we want to expose the game to the society. We also want more people to learn the game. But as a team, you also want good players. So when you're a new player, it takes you a good 2-3 years to become, I would say, decently good at Frisbee or whatever sport that is. Right? It takes time to learn the game, the techniques, and that's fine. That's just normal, right? So as a team, you want players who've played in other countries, and when they move to Dubai, they want to join our team. So if you look at the other teams in UAE, they have a good supply of players who's played the game before, especially from Philippines, because it's massive over there. So they played back home, they moved to Dubai, and they already have teams to play for over here. We haven't got that luxury to a certain extent. We still have players who played in other countries, but not as much as the other teams who has access to those players.
But are you open to training youngsters if they join AFT?
Youngsters anytime, because when you have age on your side, it's easy to teach a sport because you can make mistakes and still have enough time to learn from them, and in the next 4 or 5 years become a very good member of the team. When you're in your 30s and you join the game, again, I'm not discouraging that. It takes a lot longer to be a very good player. And then you're in your 33s, 34s, and then, it's not easy to balance your life with sports as well.
Yeah, there are more commitments.
Yeah, because you have to take care of your kids, pay your bills. Yeah, that's that.
So self-funded, how does the team manage travel when it's self-funded?
When it's self-funded, you pay for everything, right? So when we went to Uzbekistan, when the team went to Baku, everything was, even from the hotels, the tickets, to the taxis, to even the tournament fee was paid by ourselves, right? So everyone's paying for their own stuff. We tried the sponsor route once for one tournament. It does work, but then sponsors are not willing to shell out enough funds to help the team travel or for accommodation and stuff. So it's still at a very low level over here. But again, it's becoming better, I would say. So the more exposure we get, it takes time, right? The more exposure we get, the more aware of people are, the more sponsors we can get, because sponsors at the end of the day wants exposure. So if we can only reach out 100 people on Instagram, for example, why would they sponsor us? So as the team becomes bigger, as there's more awareness on social media, and we're growing the team, growing the sport, then more sponsors will come along the way.
So should anyone want to join the Ultimate Frisbee of AFT, they get in touch with you?
Yes, so we have our Instagram page. It's called aft.ultimate.
Okay.
And you can contact us. There's 3 people who are in charge of that page. I'm unfortunately one of them as well. But I have zero understanding of how Instagram works, so I'm the last person. But then since I'm one of the captains, I'm also there. But yeah, we respond quite quick, and we always welcome new players. You know, even though we say it's difficult for us to train them and get them to the level, we still love good players, especially if they're athletic. You know, especially if we see potential. Because I've been doing this for a while, and I know from day one, week one, which players can go the distance. And sometimes people surprise you, good or bad, right? And so we always welcome any players to join us.
Now I'm going to integrate both. So if someone, since we're in Feb right now, someone who started, I want to be the new me, and they are, exercise is not their strong suit, but they want to do it. They just need some kind of encouragement. Would you be open to accepting them in AFT, train them? Because you said you do work on the fundamental movements, or the warm up, the exercises, and then into the sport. Would you be open to getting people joining you there, young or not so young?
We would be. So, of course, they can join us. So, I think the way the team is growing, I think you can easily split into 2 different teams. One that will be seriously, driven, taking part in tournaments, and another team who is more, I would say, playing for the social aspect of it. The more, I would use the word chill. It's a more fun-based game for them. So, the way the team is going, we can do both, and we can accept people up to like 40, 50 a session.
And is this going to be a community thing? Would you accept a dad coming with a child?
Well, that's a great question. I remember when I was playing, even at my best, I would want my dad to come and watch me play. For me, that was something nice. And they did come a couple of times, but I want to see more of that. I want to see more parents getting involved, and not just to come and watch, but also to come and play, because there's no age limit to Frisbee. I mean, you can even play in your 60s. We have some players who play socially and they're like 60 years old plus, and there's no limit to that. Even the lowest level could be like 12 years old, as long as they're okay with a bit of contact, not crazy contact, but a bit of contact. Anyone can. When I say contact, I mean physical contact. Anyone can join the games. There's no age limit or skill limit for that.
Brilliant. Your message to the audiences listening, Shrimal?
Well, the weather is still good, in Feb. This is the time we have, right? Every day we wait, we probably will wait one more day. We keep saying tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. So if you have the accessibility to join a gym or join a new sport or whatever that physical activity is for you, this is the best time to start. Right? I think the more you age, the more you realize, oh, I wish I could have done that 5 years ago, 2 years ago. But so this is 2 years ago. So start now.